What's going on, guys? It is Hart here, and today we have another daily slate breakdown. Today we have a seven gamer for the NBA. Before we get into that, could you guys please leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell? Check out my other videos. I'm just starting, new to this. Ready for the grind, throwing out videos left and right. There'll be daily breakdowns of NBA soon, starting today. I did one yesterday and doing one today, and once we get into once the NFL's over, we'll be doing daily NBA slate breakdowns. I did an NFL one earlier today, and I'm putting that up right now, and it should be out later today for you guys to take a look at and check out for the championship Sunday that we have tomorrow for NFL, and that should be an interesting one. There's a lot of plays in that one. But today we have a seven gamer for NBA for Draftkings. Before that, if you could, check me out on Twitter at DFSHeart. Give me a follow. I'll keep you guys updated with injury news. And today for the seven gamer, there's a ton of injury news. We have Durant, he's available to play. Kyrie, available to play. Goran's going to play. Jay Vincent kind of, Embiid, that's big news. He's questionable. Blake Griffin's out. Derrick Rose out. John Wall's probable, which is good news. Victor Oladipo out, so that's big news. Christian Wood's out, so there's going to be a lot of value on the Houston Rockets. Wendell Carter out. Otto Porter out. D'Lo out. Don't know why he's out. Put up like 9 points, 21 minutes last game, yet he needs rest. Makes no sense. Kogi probable. Ricky Rubio is questionable. So there's going to be a ton of value opening up today on this slate. So it's definitely looking like a stars and scrubs approach to this slate. I don't see how the scrubs don't get there with all the value that's opening up. If you're a multiple lineup guy, I suggest going towards the stars and scrubs approach, and then maybe making one with the balanced approach in hopes that all the scrubs do terrible. I don't see that happening, but that's always an option. Be contrarian. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll take a look at the odds. You got the Pelicans, Wolves, 216 right now with a 9.5 spread. So that's a huge blowout risk because it's going to be basically just a bunch of backups versus the Pelicans. You got the 76ers, Pistons, 7-point spread, 215 over under. Heat, Nets, 8-point spread, 232 over under. Nuggets, Suns, 3-point spread, 217. Warriors, Jazz, 7.5, 227 over under. Rockets, Mavs, 9.5, 220. And Lakers, Bulls, 9.5, 227. So as we can see by these spreads and all the injury news, today's going to be a crazy slate. You can go heavy if you want. I wouldn't suggest it just with how much, variance there's going to be with all these different value plays opening up and a bunch of stars being out. So, and as we see with the point spreads, there's like 3, 4, 5 of the 7 games look like they might be blowouts. So that's just huge news. It's going to be all over the place. So I suggest taking it light, but if you want to make a few more lineups, you can just with all the value, and then just hope your core plays work out. But we'll start on Miami and Brooklyn side. So for Miami, we got Bam at the top, 8-5. I'm fine if you get there. I'm probably not with the stars and scrubs approach. I'd much rather go to higher people up in different price range. But if you get there, that's fine with me because Butler's out, Hero's out, so it makes Bam one of the main beneficiaries on that team. But I don't think I'd go there on this slate. Dragic, you can go there. I would still go there. 6'2", starting point guard. Brooklyn can't defend. It's going to be a high-scoring game. So I like that. You just got the blowout risk factor in this game too as well. So, but I still think Dragic is a great play. Kelly O, if you want to. I don't really like the matchup of him guarding KD or being switched on to a bunch of the guards. I think he could have some foul trouble, so I want to go there. Duncan Robinson, not for me, 5'9" for a shooter, no. And Kendrick Nunn, he's been chalked the past 2 games, and he's proven it. But he's, been going off 47, 40, 40. More than happy if you're going back there. He's going to get 30 plus minutes, especially if it's a blowout. He's going to get even more runs. So, I mean, maybe he'll bust today, but you can still go there. I like that. And then the only other guy I would take a shot on is Iggy. He's been playing 20 plus, basically every game because there's been a bunch of people out. And they've been wrecked by COVID. So I'm fine with you taking a shot on him. He's 3,700. They're going to need him to guard KD and all the other guys. So you just need him to hit some shots, and then he should be able to get you at least 20 fantasy points tonight. So, you got Bam, Dragic. I can't even say his name. I don't know why. None. And then, take a dart throw on Iggy. I like that. On the Brooklyn side, I'm a fan for avoiding them when all three of them are playing just because they're priced up. KD and Durant are. And then Irving's, he's a reasonable price tag, 8,900. But, it's just hard to know how they're going to play. I would wait, but if you were to take a shot on someone, I'd say Irving just because of the price tag. He's a lot cheaper than the other two. But it's just very tough to know how they're going to all play together. Because we saw in that game versus Cleveland, Durant was the only one who was going to get you there. Harden and Irving were not going to get you there. And Kyrie was only shooting. He wasn't getting any rebounds or assists. Harden's kind of hogging that. And then Durant's just tall enough to be able to get some rebounds and a few assists. So I don't really like this side of it. If you were to run it back to someone, I'd say Kyrie Irving. You could take a shot at Joe Harris, 5'5". He's just a shooter. He gets a good amount of rebounds, but I don't think I'm going to go there today just with all the other value. Don't really like the mid-range. DeAndre Jordan, he's okay. Jeff Green, okay. That's pretty much it, I'd say more of the Miami guys and choose guys from a different game or maybe, run it back with Kyrie, but I don't really like many other people. Philly and Detroit, huge news. Joel's questionable on back-to-back. If he plays, he's in a great spot again. He's due for another, 50-plus fantasy point upside game against the Detroit. Little blowout risk, though. If he's out, though, that gives a lot more opportunity to guys like Ben Simmons, even though he's been bad this year. 8-2 is a great price tag for him, especially if Joel's out. He's going to have to shoot more. We saw last game he shot 10 times. So I like Ben Simmons in the spot if Joe's out. If Joe is in, don't go to Ben Simmons. If Joe's in, I'd really only target Joe and Seth, and then maybe you can take a shot on Ben Simmons and Tobias if you really want to and get crazy. But if he's out, Ben Simmons, close to lock. Tobias Harris become a great option, 7-1. He would be doing a lot more of the offense. As you see, he's got, with Joe in, he's got 30-plus fantasy point upside. He can get you to 50 if he's having a really good game. But if he's out, that floor, I think, moves to at least 40, and then he can get you into the 50s and 60s if he's having a really good game. And then Seth, he's a shooter, so you need rebounds and assists from him, which is doable. But we saw last game, kind of a floor game. He hit his shots, but no rebounds, no assists. So he didn't really get you there, but I'm fine with that in the matchup against Detroit. Shake, no. Danny Green, no. So if Joe is out, Dwight Howard becomes the chalk of the day for center play. We saw yesterday DeMarcus Cousins was the chalk play, and it worked out. And I expect the same with Dwight. Everyone will be on him. He'll have high ownership, but it allows you to pay him up for a bunch of different areas. So Dwight's a great play. And then you could take a shot on Tony Bradley. In case Dwight, has foul trouble, he's going to get the backup minutes. Maybe he gets 15 to 20, 3K, dart throw, decent option. On the Detroit side, Blake Griffin's out, so you got Jeremy Grant, great play at 7-8, does basically everything, 50, 60 fantasy point upside, has a floor of like 35, great spot against Philly. Even though the blowout risk, he still plays a good amount of minutes. Blake Griffin out, so I guess that gives a little bit more upside to Plumlee. They're probably going to play him a little bit more than 20 minutes last game. He'll probably get his usual 25 to 30, maybe even more than that. And I'd say he's an okay option at 5-6. I'd just rather pay for Dwight and then play other areas. D Rose is out, so You're going to have DeLon Wright, Wayne Ellington, Josh Jackson, maybe Mikhailuk get in, Sadiq Bey, Okafor maybe he slides in. If Okafor slides into the starting role and then or he just gets like 20 plus minutes, I'd look to him. He's a decent offensive player and can get you boards. It's just, the playing time, if he has it, he can get you there in 20 minutes possibly at 3-1, but I wouldn't love it. The rest of these guys is just a dart throw. I'd say go with Jackson or Ellington. Ellington's a shooter. He's, played a good amount of minutes the past 3 games. He can definitely get you there. They're going to need offense against, Philly. So I'm fine with that. Or Josh Jackson. He'll be a little bit less owned. 3,700, but they're going to need his offense with D Rose and Blake Griffin out. As you saw in the beginning of the season, he was a decent option off the bench and kind of went downhill. But, they're going to need his offense. So I like him, even if it does blow out. So I'd really say only look at Grant and take a shot on one of these guards. Moving on to New Orleans and Minnesota. At the top, you got Brandon Ingram, 8-1. I think this is a great opportunity to buy low on Ingram. He's 30, 30, 30, 36. At this price tag, no one's going to be on him. The game is going to probably blow out. But, you just got to hope Brandon Ingram gets him there. And as we've seen in the NBA this year, even the games that are supposed to blow out, a lot of them have stayed close, or games that have stayed close, a lot of them blown out. Like, it's just been all over the place this year. It makes no sense. So you could be one of those things where you avoid this game and it stays close and everyone smashes, like Brandon Ingram. So I'd say he's a really good GPP contrarian play and hopes that they keep it close. Same with Zion. Zion's more of a safer floor than Ingram. He's usually that 35 to 45 range if he's getting the rebounds. Doesn't have the huge upside, but he's safe. Steven Adams. I want to go there if Dwight's going to start, if Joe's out. Lonzo, Eric Bledsoe. The rest of the guys in this team, not for me. It's kind of just, take the shot on Ingram, Zion, hope it stays close. And then, run it back with the Minnesota side. Towns is out, D'Lo's out, so that leaves Beasley, Naz Reid, Rubio even might be out, so it'll be Beasley, Reid, Vanderbilt. They'll probably slide Edwards or Koji into the starting lineup with McLaughlin. I mean, it's just going to be a gross game. Obviously, Beasley becomes the number 1 option on the team. I would like him a lot. If you're game stacking this game, he's going to get you shots, assists, rebounds. He's going to play like 25 plus minutes, 30 plus if it's close. So he's in a great spot, 6'8". Naz Reid, I do think he's viable. Not very much foul trouble with Steven Adams. And even if it's a blowout, he's still going to play, 25 plus minutes. And he's going to become like a second, third option on this team with Rubio out, possibly D'Lo out, Towns out. So I do think Naz Reid's okay play at 5'8" right there. If Rubio is in, I would play him. He'll probably get most of the starting run at point guard. He doesn't shoot the ball well, but as we see, he's great at rebounding, assists. He can get you some steals. So if he's hitting a shot, he's good for at least 25 plus fantasy points at 4-9, which is great against this New Orleans team. So I wouldn't mind it, but if he's out, you're probably going to want to lock in McLaughlin. 3-7. He's going to get all the run. He likes to shoot it when he is the main guy, the main point guard. And he can get you some rebounds and assists. He's had some big games last year when a bunch of guys were out. So I definitely lock him in if Rubio sits. And he's even viable if Rubio plays, because Rubio will play about, 25, 30, and then McLaughlin will probably get, 20 at least, maybe 25 of the backup point guard and shooting guard position. So the number 1 option on this team is Beasley, and then maybe McLaughlin, and then Reid, and then you could take a shot on Anthony Edwards if you want. He's probably going to shoot a ton this game, play a lot more just because of D'Lo. So, I mean, if you want to go there, you can. I just don't know if I would. He's just been bad, shooting the ball bad. Doesn't really get you rebounds or assists if he's hitting the shot. So I just rather go with those other guys I mentioned. Moving on. We got Lakers versus Chicago. A blowout risk in this game as well. I mean, LeBron and AD, if you think it stays close, they're both in great spots against, Chicago. No one's going to be able to guard them. They're playing a lot more minutes if it's been close this past 2 games, so which is good. Before they were only getting, about 30, 35 at most. And we've seen 38 the past 2. So I like that. AD, great spot in Chicago. No one can guard him. If he gets, if this game stays close, AD gets 38 minutes, he's going to get you 50, 60 plus against Chicago. So I'm really looking towards AD. Schroeder, no. Harrell, no one else, really. You could take a shot at Caruso just because he gets about 20 minutes a game, 15 to 20. Can get you, 20 fantasy points, maybe a little bit more if he's hitting the shot. So he's okay. I'd really only look to LeBron and AD. On the Chicago side, Zach LaVine, we saw in the first matchup, I think Zach got like 58 fantasy points against him. 59. He was shooting really well. He's been shooting really well the past, this whole season, really. So I'm fine with you going to Zach LaVine. He's going to be low owned. People are not going to want to target this game because they think it's going to blow out. So if you think Chicago keeps it close, then you should target LeBron or AD, and then Zach LaVine. Kobe White's still in a great spot at 7-2. Getting 30-plus minutes. I told you guys yesterday, I like buying low on Kobe. He's going to get the minutes. If he's hitting a shot, he gets the rebounds, assists. So catch you 37. I think he's still in a great play today. Laurie, no, I wouldn't go there. If AD is playing, which he probably is, Laurie's going to have foul trouble. That's not for me. Wendell out, Otto's out, so that gives more run to Patrick Williams, Garrett Temple, Thad Young, might even start. Denzel. I mean, all these guys are like just secondary plays and hope they don't get blown out in foul trouble. I say if you were to look at one, maybe Temple, just because he's the best shooter out of all of them, or Valentine. Temple's been playing pretty well the past few games, shooting the ball well. I don't like Valentine, but if the game's going to blow out or if they need offense off the bench, he's just going to start chucking. Could get you there if he's getting some rebounds or an assist, but I'd much rather go to the cheaper options and value and slate. That's pretty much it for the Bulls. Just pretty much more, I like the top guys on either side of this game. Houston, Dallas, John Wall, if he plays, play him. He's in a great spot. Going to get you like 30-plus minutes if it's close. Going to shoot the ball a ton, rebounds, assists, steals. Absolute amazing spot for him if he plays. Same with Eric Gordon, 6K. Now that Oladipo's out, these guys are both going to be asked to do a ton, shoot the ball a ton. So they're both firmly in play at 7 to 6K. Same with DeMarcus, 5.1, you're going to start, get you around 25, 30 minutes. Shot the ball terrible against Detroit and still got 36 fantasy points. So, he's in line to get you blocks, rebounds, assists, points. So, he's firmly in play as well. So, this would be a great game to stack. All 3 of them. You can even take a shot on DeJounte Tate. Or Jayshawn Tate. Doesn't shoot the ball a ton, but he's got the blocks, the steals, the rebounds, upside. He can get you some points if he's hitting the shot and, bullying people down low, which he likes to do. So I'm fine with that. You can always take a shot on one of these guards, but I don't trust it. Nwaba, as I mentioned last video, you can take a shot on him. He had his best game of the season, 35 fantasy points. People will probably chase that. I don't know if I'll go there. I'd much rather play, the 3 main beneficiaries of Oladipo being out, which is Wall, Gordon, DeMarcus, and then running it back with Luka, 10-7, great spot. There's blowout risk, but I do think they'll be able to keep it close. 66, he went off for last game. Price tag went down 200. I think he's going to be popular, but I'd go there. Porzingis, same thing, 8-2. I mean, he's just playing a bunch of minutes now, getting a bunch of shots. So I'm fine with going to Porzingis. He's got that 40 and like 60. Could even get you 70 fantasy point upside if he's hitting the shot, get those rebounds and blocks. So I like them both at the top. And then you can take a shot in Hardaway, Burke. They're just kind of scoring dependent. They'll get looks, but I mean, you need them to hit the shots. Otherwise, they're just not for me. Liechtenstein, no. I might get foul trouble with Boogie. And then Brunson. As I mentioned in the last video, he's going to bunch run, starting lineup. He's been playing well, 20, 28, 31, so you can definitely go back to Brunson and do like a full-on game stack with, the 3 guys on Houston I mentioned, and then Luka, Porzingis, and Brunson, and fill in, value from Minnesota side. So I like that. We got Denver and Phoenix. Jokic, 10-8. Game went into overtime, but, I mean, Jokic is a smash spot every slate. Get you all the minutes, all the shots, anything you want. So I'm fine with going to Jokic. He'd probably be a little bit lower round. With other value, it'll probably be pretty decent in play. So I said Jamal Murray, 6'7". Great GPP play. Doesn't have a lot of ownership. He got there in overtime last night. Shot the ball terrible. Or he shot it okay, but he was just, he wasn't shooting the ball a ton. I mean, he's played well the past 3 out of 4. I'd take a chance. He'll be low owned, so you can go there. Michael Porter Jr. is back. He didn't start, but he did get 20 minutes. 6'5", I wouldn't go there just yet, but that does take away from Will Barton, Millsap, and JaMychal Green. So I would only look to Jokic, Murray on this team, and then Monte Morris. He's been playing great off the bench. 4-4, he's going to get you 20, 25, even 30 minutes if he's playing well. Doesn't have huge upside. It's usually, 20 to 30 fantasy points in that range, but 4-4, it's a decent option. It's almost guaranteed floor for him. The Phoenix side, 8-7-7. I thought he was going to have a little bit more trouble against Jokic last game, but he didn't. So he actually had a really good game, 48, 27-13. Shot the ball really well. So he's been playing really well, playing a ton of minutes past 2 games. I do think, the risk of foul trouble is there again today. Especially with Booker being gone, they're going to have to get a lot more aggressive and have people shoot more. So I'm assuming Booker doesn't play. If he plays, okay, right, 7-5, he's doing well last game, but I don't love it. If he doesn't play, that makes, Chris Paul a little bit more viable. He'll probably shoot the ball a little bit more, even though I don't love that play. He's fine if the Booker's out. Mikal Bridges, as I mentioned, he's like OG and Hunter. 25-35. He went off, 51 last game because he was like 6 of 8 from 3. Don't expect that again, but he's a decent play. I'll look to shoot more. Same with Jake Crowder, Johnson, and Cameron Payne. I'd say, all 4 of these guys right here, Payne, Johnson, Crowder, and Bridges, are in play just because you're going to have more shot opportunities and they weren't going to want more offense from people. And I know Abdel Nader played a decent amount that game and had some opportunities, but I want to go back there, not a high usage guy. So I'll just take a shot on, Chris Paul. I don't know if I'd go back to Ayton. People might chase that. I'd say Chris Paul and then one of the wings or backup point guard Payne. And then the last game, Golden State, Utah. Steph at the top, 9-5. He's always in play for GPP. He's going to have low ownership with all the value today and the blowout risk of this game. I mean, he's one of those that can get you 80, 90 fantasy points if he's going off. So I don't mind him. Wiggins, not going to go there 6'4", even though he's playing fine. Oubre, not going to go there 6'1". I like Draymond because if Steph goes off, it's usually because of Draymond getting rebounds and assists and getting them open. And he's got that triple-double upside as we see, it's classic Draymond stat line, 10, 10, 9. So I do like Draymond 5-5. Wiseman will get a decent amount of run just because they'll need him to guard Gobert. He does foul a lot, so he's pretty risky at 5'2", but if he stays out of foul trouble, I mean, I think he can get you, 25, 30 minutes, and then, get you maybe 25 fantasy points, 30 if he's doing well, so he's an okay option. And that's about it on this side. Really only take a shot on Steph and Draymond and hope it stays close. Otherwise, on the Utah side, Donovan Mitchell's been playing really well lately. 7-8, great spot against, Golden State. So this could be like an under the radar game stack, late night hammer if you want. Do, Steph, Draymond, run back with Donovan. And then maybe a guy like Gobert. And you could really, any of these guys, Gobert, Conley, Clarkson. They're really all fine plays. Nothing too great or outstanding. Bogdan, scoring dependent. Ingles, no. So I really only take a shot on, Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, and I'd say Clarkson. Conley will be okay, but actually, I'd say Conley over Clarkson if you're going to play him. Just because he's scoring dependent. He's been playing really well this season, but Conley does have a little bit more safer floor. He's only 6'6". He's only 300 more, so he's got that rebounds and assists. So, if you're going to do a game stack, I'd do, Steph and Dre, and then run it back with Donovan, and probably Rudy, maybe Conley. But, so yeah, that does it today, guys. There's going to be a lot of value opening up. You can definitely go stars and scrubs. It pretty much allows you to do whatever you want, play whoever you want. I'd say take it a little light just because of so many unknowns of the slate, but it's up to you. Once again, if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up, a like, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing these daily NBA slate breakdowns. I got the NFL one coming out later today. Hope you guys, tune in, keep watching more because I'm going to keep doing it. So thank you guys very much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another slate breakdown.